Hi, everybody. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild from the Global Israel Alliance. Sorry about last week. I was traveling, did not have a chance to record. Here's the update for week ending Friday, June 7th, 2019. So here are some of the top stories that happened this week in Israel. According to a recent Wall Street Journal report, the Gaza terror groups have replenished their supply to the tune of about 10,000 rockets, some of them with long-range capability reaching all the way to the city of Tel Aviv. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, Hamas from Gaza had fired some 700 rockets into Israel, so they have replenished. This week, sad news to report. Nechama Rivlin, the wife of the president of the state of Israel, passed away. She was a very beloved figure. She passed away at the age of 74, and she was buried this week. She was very popular, focused her first ladyship, if that's the word, on the arts, the environment, children with special needs, and was a very trusted advisor for her husband. May her memory be a blessing. Remember, in Israel, the presidency is really a figurehead. It's the prime minister who runs the government, but they're a very important figurehead. This week, the IDF warplane struck at Syria, military targets near the Golan Heights, killing 3 Syrian soldiers and 7 foreign fighters. Foreign fighters usually mean Iranians or Arabs from other countries that come because they want to fight in the Syrian civil war. The Israeli military confirmed that they had destroyed some SA-2 air defense units, and we will continue to operate in Syria to secure Israel's borders and to prevent Iran from operating within Syria against Israel. The United States this week warned Lebanon that the Lebanese government needs to take action against the Hezbollah terrorists. Remember, Hezbollah is in Israel's north. They are the terrorists from Lebanon. Hamas are the terrorists from the south in Gaza. I know it's hard to keep track of all the different terrorist groups, but God gave us a great blessing that Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in the south hate each other probably more than they hate Israel. So thank God they don't coordinate their attacks. But the U.S. government this week warned Lebanon that they needed to crack down on the Hezbollah terrorists in their country before Israel does. This week, an interesting development in Turkey. They opened their new international airport. It's considered to be the largest in the world, and at the airport, they opened 2 Jewish prayer rooms, which is incredible. There are actually more flights from Turkey to Tel Aviv than there are from Turkey to London, which is incredible. Now, for those of you who are big fans of McDonald's, remember in the United States, McDonald's is not kosher, but in Israel, we do have kosher McDonald's, no cheeseburgers allowed. So this week, McDonald's had put in a bid to open a branch at the airport, in our major international airport at Ben Gurion, and the IDF disabled veterans protested dramatically the possibility of opening a McDonald's. Why? Because McDonald's in Israel is controlled by extreme left-wingers, the founder of a movement called Peace Now. Don't let its name fool you. And they refused to open any branches in Judea and Samaria, and therefore said the IDF disabled veterans. The state of Israel has a law, it's called the boycott law, and this law is meant to deal with companies like McDonald's that criticize Israel's policy and boycott parts of the population. But on the other hand, they have no problem competing for a government tender and make money off the same citizens they boycott. So this party is ending today. The idea that a company boycotting parts of the state of Israel will compete in a government tender and stand proudly at the exit gate and entry of the state of Israel is intolerable. So this is a developing story to see what happens with McDonald's here in Israel. From January to May this year, almost 1.9 million tourists visited Israel as compared to 1.75 million last year, a jump of 8.3% just in the first half of the year, which is incredible. Over the year over year for the last couple of years, we have an amazing amount of tourists coming. Now, in the month of May, the Sea of Galilee rose an additional 11 centimeters. Remember, getting into spring, we now have melting and runoff from the mountains surrounding the Sea of Galilee. So though it didn't rain, we had the Sea of Galilee rose again, reaching its highest level in 10 years. This is great news. And to end with a feel-good story, sad, but a feel-good story. Remember, we reported that Zachary Baumel, an Israeli soldier who had been missing since 1982, missing in action, whose body was finally returned to the state of Israel in April with the help of the Russians. So his body, one of the ways I identify him was by his prayer shawl, his talit. You know, those prayer shawls that Jews wear during the services. So his prayer shawl was presented as a gift to the Prime Minister of the State of Israel, and with a hope and prayers that it will always protect him and keep him from harm. Those are the stories this week in Israel. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful week. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild from the Global Israel Alliance. Oh, one story. Sorry, I totally forgot to mention. Horrible, I hate to end with this, but horrible fires were started in Samaria in Israel. Over 1,700 acres have been torched. These fires have been arson by Arab terrorists, including an area called Itamar, which our group from Living Word Church in Naples. We visited Itamar, and unfortunately that settlement has been damaged greatly. So we pray for those people deeply, and we hope that the fires will no longer rage and that they will see a great recovery in their fields. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild, the Global Israel Alliance.